15-foot high wall separating us from Leeds.
Blimey, so what else do you want from an independent Barnsley, then?
Actually, if elected, we would immediately close the borders, insist everybody drive on the other side of the road, and introduce our own independent currency, with banknotes depicting Michael Parkinson kissing Darren Goff. Did you get the picture, Miles?
I'm trying not to, actually, but isn't all this a bit premature? You barely got 3,000 votes with a turnout of less than 40%.
Actually, this is just the beginning, Miles. Eventually, every house in Barnsley is its own independent state. Each household suspicious and antagonistic towards its equally hostile neighbour. That's the dream, Miles, for a completely united Barnsley.
Wow, so you're no longer a single-issue party?
Oh, no, Miles, we're still a single-issue party. We've just broken that issue down into lots of tiny bits.
Makes perfect sense. Jane Lockdown, thank you. The police pay review revealed this week could see 28,000 job losses in another example of so-called swinging cuts. Swinging is a word which is only ever used in relation to cuts, hence phrases such as swinge it out, mate, do you like my new hair swinge, and who swinged the cheese? One unexpected casualty is new BBC police drama Blue Spanner, which has had to go through some last-minute rewrites to take into account the job losses.
Detective Spanner?
What is it? Can't you see I'm hitting the bottle?
I'd like you to meet your new partner, Spanner.
Who is it? It better not be a woman, because I've only got room for one woman in my life, and she's called Jack Daniels.
No. It's not a woman. I'm afraid we've had our budget slashed. So your new partner...
You're not going to tell me it's a dog, because I've only got room for one animal in my life. Camels.
Yeah, you smoke too much, Spanner. Anyway, it's not a dog.
Good, and it better not be some wet-faced schoolboy straight out of rookie school, because I've only got room for one pair of smooth balls in my life. And they're these Chinese worry balls.
It's not a schoolboy. Meet your new partner.
What in the Sweeney is that?
It's a Tamagotchi.
It's been announced that the exploits of the royal family have inspired a work of children's literature. No, not a reworked fairy tale called The Prince and the Pedo, but two new adventures in the world of the Mr. Men, released to coincide with the royal wedding. The lead character, Little Miss Princess, seems to be having problems fitting in as the new girl in Dillydale.
It was a bright, sunny day when Little Miss Princess woke up in a new home. A lovely big castle with turrets. She wanted to meet some of the other little Mr. Men and little Misses, but who was following her? It was Mr. Nosy. He loves following Little Miss Princess, snapping her in her wedding dress or tapping her phone. Oh, Mr. Nosy, you are bad. Little Miss Princess carried on and soon bumped into Mr. Greedy, who put her face on some cheap mugs and bits of tat to sell down the market. It wasn't long before Little Miss Princess bumped into Little Miss Busy, but she hadn't been very busy at all, not since she lost her job at the council and didn't like Miss Princess at all for spending her money on her big indulgent party. Hello, said Little Miss Princess. Sod off, said Little Miss Busy. Never mind, thought Little Miss Princess as she returned to her beautiful castle with turrets far away from Dillydale. At least I'll never have to mix with any of these people again.
Miss Widdicombe, thank you for agreeing to star in our panto.
Oh, well, goodness knows why I said yes. I do find Snow White a thoroughly boring story.
Well, it's been cast now. And remember, pantomime is all about keeping it fun. This is the kind of modern version, so energy up.
I don't really see the point of all this.
Let's just get through this rehearsal and then you can go home.
This really is intolerable.
Well, let's just go from the top of page 2. In walks Anne Widdicombe, grumpy, sleepy, tetchy, snidey, nasty, sulky and Marty. Followed by the dwarves.
The Jack app.
Please leave your message after the tone.
I've just downloaded the new Sigmund Freud app for my phone. It gives you caller id.
Like the papers, I think it's an outrage that a Muslim man was only fined £50 for setting light to a poppy. I was sent to prison the last time I did it. That's what you get for being white and doing it regularly and inhaling it.
this is the operator. I have Bob Diamond on the line. Will you accept the charges?
I don't think celebrities should worry about what newspapers write about them. After all, as they say, today's headlines are just tomorrow's poisonous cereal boxes.
We know where you were on the night of the 15th, Roy. You were up to your eyes in murder. Save us all a lot of time and confess.
I'm not saying anything until I speak to a lawyer.
A lawyer can't help you now, Roy. I've turned off the tape. It's just me, you, and my partner. I'm a walk in the park compared to this guy. I warn you, he's an animal.
This week saw the return of the BBC's science show Wonders of the Solar System, and joining us by satellite phone to discuss the series, we're thrilled to speak to presenter and human emoticon, Professor Brian Cox.
Hiya, Miles. I thought this was the best place to start our discussion. It would be here, on the frozen mountainsides of Peru. In many ways, these mountains remind me of the start of any conversation. Uncharted, exciting, full of possibility.
Well, I wanted to ask you about your new series.
And that's why I've decided to answer this question in the back of a New York taxi, Miles. We're on a one-way street. In many ways, it's like your interview.
Hang on, why do you keep changing location?
I'm in a restaurant, Miles. In the same way, there are different wines that go well with different meals. There are different locations which suit different questions.
Well, this really is all rather distracting.
I'm in a helicopter over a volcano, Miles, which is, I think, a lot like you, slowly getting redder and redder as the interview continues. And I'm now just waiting for it to erupt.
So, hang on, the BBC are paying for you to go to all these different locations tenuously linked to what you're talking about?
Absolutely, Miles. In fact, here, high up on Sydney Harbour Bridge, you can witness the BBC's brightest star not believing his luck.
Professor Brian Cox, truly living the dream. Thank you.
Hello. Thanks for coming to the Tate Modern and choosing the official audio guide. It really is Tate of the art. You are now standing in front of Nude Green Leaves and Bust by Pablo Picasso, the most expensive painting ever sold at auction, which Tate Modern is displaying to the British public for the first time. The work is characteristic of Picasso's late neoclassical period. Step closer and you can observe the hasty, layered strokes which give the painting its energy. Get closer still and see the mix of colours used to render the oranges in the corner, a clear reference to Cézanne. Now, take the painting off the wall. Go on, it's all right. The audio guide says so. Ignore the alarms. Now, turn left and run. A security guard will try to stop you. Punch him in the stomach. There is a fire exit to your right. Use it. Head for Trafalgar Square and take the first bus you see heading for Fulham. At the last stop, Big Mickey will be waiting. Thanks for listening to this audio guide. Don't forget to return your headset.
The Royal Academy of Engineering have suggested that the British are over-reliant on GPS. Well, maybe, but SatNav helped me get where I am today. However, the RAE say terrorists could exploit our dependence on this technology. MI5 have managed to record this secret meeting at an Al-Qaeda camp in northern Afghanistan.
By hacking into the SatNav satellite, we can turn the UK into a giant Scalextrix. By typing into this machine, I can make all SatNavs redirect their users to Charlie Alpha 12, 5 November Golf.
I like it. Let me guess, you are redirecting them to a flaming armaments depot or a cliff which will bring road users to their doom.
It is the Cumberland Pencil Museum in Keswick. The coffee shop will be severely overstretched.
I'm not sure if this has enough impact. What else are you working on?
Loosen the backs of hole punchers so that people's shoes are frequently covered in the confetti of frustration.
I want something with a bit more oomph.
Wait till you hear about Operation Taps. For years now, our operatives have been tampering with Britain's taps to make the reasonable temperature between too hot and too cold really hard to locate. It is now almost impossible for a Briton to shower at a friend's house without being given an extensive briefing, or even worse, undergoing the humiliation of getting your friend to set the temperature for you.
Brilliant. Where'd you get your ideas?
A TV show called Live at the Apollo. Each week, Westerners explain what annoys them for nearly half hour.
That sounds incredible. Is it on the BBC iPlayer?
It was. But to further infuriate the West, I have replaced the iPlayer with a little spinning circle of dots.
Most of us have now had our census forms through the post, and with questions such as where were you on the evening of the 27th of March 2011, it's difficult to read without feeling you've received an accusatory letter from a time-travelling policeman. Of course, the census is a great opportunity for anyone who enjoys answering questions about themselves. I've heard a rumour Chris Moyles has already returned his form 9 times. Meanwhile, ridiculous internet campaigns encouraging people to enter fictional religions has caused real annoyance to Britain's last remaining Jedi Knight, who lives in Tatooine-under-Lyme, near Stoke.
Oh, hello, Mr. Kenobi? Mr. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is that you?
Obi-Wan. I haven't gone by the name of Obi-Wan since before you were born.
Yeah, that's right. I have your actual first name here as Eric. Eric Kenobi. Do you mind if I come in?
This is not the house you're looking for.
This is not the house I'm looking for.
You can go about your business.
I can go about my business. Sorry, I don't know what came over me. Where was I? All right, yeah. I'm here about the census. I just need to check a couple of things. We have you down as being a Jedi, which I can see is true. But you've put down that you're cohabiting with someone who is 900 years old.
Oh, just a moment. Master Yoda, there's a woman at the door who needs a word with you.
In the loo am I. To bugger off, tell her. Sick of these cold callers am I. Come back later, she can. When finished, has bargain hunt.
Could you just put down that we weren't in?
I really shouldn't.
Go on, you know it to be true. Reach out with your census. Use the forms.
Mistakes are like TV commercials featuring meerkats. No matter how awful they are, people just can't seem to stop making them. Here at Newsjack, we acknowledge our errors, so here are some corrections.
We wish to correct an official statement that the Libyan community in Barnsley has been wiped out. It should have read the Lib Dem community.
We recently showed support for comedians who've given their names to flavours of crisps sold for comic relief. We incorrectly said that the campaign would also run in Korea, endorsed by Rufus Hound.
Newsjack would like to apologise for suggesting Film 2011 was using product placement. Despite her skin tone, Claudia Winkleman was not promoting Orange Wednesday.
Good night. Newsjack starred Miles Jupp, Margaret Cabourn-Smith, Lewis MacLeod and Pippa Evans. For a full list of writers, go to bbc.co.uk/programmes/Newsjack. The producer was Katie Tyrrell. That was Newsjack and an episode first broadcast way back in March 2011. Coincidentally, that was the same month that I, John Prescott, was asked to present the shipping forecast for Comic Relief. And did such a good job. I was given the job of head continuity announcer here at the BBC. Next up on your wirelesses, it's me, picking my favourite recordings of me reading the shipping forecast. Go on, try and stop me. I've got one hell of a right hook.
Well, fun lovers, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Newsjack from BBC Radio 7. For the full range of other BBC podcasts, visit www.bbc.co.uk/podcasts.